Hi there. Oh my gosh, the lighting is terrible. And I am not entirely sure where the microphone is on my machine. I have a feeling it's that tiny thing on the side. Whoops. So I probably just rustled everything in a horrible way. I'm being extremely lazy in doing this because reasons. We're having a horrible heat wave right now where there's actually been an advisory on top of our shelter in place, going all the way from Napa down to Monterey. And we've been reaching triple digits, and we do get into the triple digits in the summer. I don't know, fairly frequently, but we get the fog in the evening, and so the problem comes when we don't get the fog, and that's what is happening now. There's some kind of an inversion pushing the fog out, and so it doesn't cool down at night. And for those of you who live in hot climates where it doesn't cool down at night anyway, say what you will. So all I've done is I've just slapped open my machine. I haven't even hooked up a camera or microphone or anything. In fact, I have to get another lavalier mic because I was doing my podcast on this little lavalier mic that I thought was good, and it was not good. It was just, it wasn't recording at all. It ended up just recording through my phone mic, and then I had to do all this editing, which completely foiled the purpose of my using the Anchor FM app to begin with. It's supposed to be just drop it in there and send it all out. So I'm recording this live, but this is not meant to be a live event, all exciting and woo, you can send me money and jewels and wonderful things. I'm doing it this way just out of convenience, and I just felt like doing a little vlog chit-chat since I hadn't talked to you guys for a little bit. Yeah, so I hope y'all are doing well. There have been various issues going on with shelter-in-place restrictions being alleviated a little bit. And where I live in Silicon Valley, actually in Santa Clara County to be more specific, they've relaxed them, but only slightly. And I am 100% behind that. We are not only observing shelter rules still and only going out for essential functions, but when we do go out, we're still observing social distancing, which I'm totally behind, and we are also wearing masks. I have no issue with that. And in this household, because I had cancer and because my brother has bronchial sensitivity, we're both considered at risk, and we're in that age group too. So whenever we bring things in the house, we've got the front entryway is like this whole disinfection area, so nothing passes from the tile entryway into the main part of the house until it's been fully disinfected. And we've got a mixture of vinegar and Everclear and tea tree oil, and we spray our shoes and remove them. The bags stay in the entryway. Every item gets pulled out of the bag, gets either wiped or sprayed, and then placed into the house proper and then brought. And of course, I'm taking great care to wash all my produce and so on. And you might think this is horrible, but I don't care. It's the reality. I'm usually like, well, whatever, produce, I'm usually not super picky about washing my produce. I'll check it out when I'm about to use it and go, oh, this could use a rinse. Or like my avocados, I'll rinse them off just before I cut them so that if there's any smuts on the outside of it, knife isn't going to be pushing that into the fruit. But or I'll like rinse off an apple or wipe an apple. Sometimes I just rub it on my shirt. But lately what I've done instead is I fill up the entire sink with water, and everything goes in there, and all the lettuce and all the celery and everything goes in there and gets washed and then wrapped. It's a whole thing. It's really weird how enervating this heat can be for me, though, because even though I'm getting like 8 to 9 hours of sleep, I wake up and I just feel so bleh. And I hope it's just from the heat. I see my oncologist next week, and quarterly. I see her quarterly, just to monitor, because I guess even though they consider me cured and not in remission, because of the type of cancer I had colon cancer, and it is the one type of cancer that we can cure. I still need quarterly monitoring, so I'll get my blood drawn and make sure my levels are good. I can't remember the name of the protein. There's some kind of a protein that tumors excrete into the blood, and this is what they check for to make sure you're still healthy. And I'm 1,000% behind that as well. I definitely would prefer not to have a recurrence. It was pretty awful going through that, although the following 18 months having bowel obstruction, I'm not sure which was worse. I think the bowel obstruction was worse. The bowel obstruction had to have been worse, because every time I had to go in and they gave me a nose tube to pump all the fluids out, and it was always this dark green fluid. And it would take like 4 days, 3 to 4 days for them to get all the fluid out. And during that whole time, you can't eat, you can't drink. And then be like another day and a half, and then they like make sure I was stable, and then they put me on liquids, and then they put me on full liquids, and that is basically they start giving me tea and jello and cream of wheat, or like cream of rice or something, but it's like really watery. It's like gruel, but it's full liquids because it's filling. And I bounced in and out of the hospital. Like, it seemed like once a month I was in there for a week, and for 18 months after my cancer shenanigans. And I lost so much weight, and it got to the point where I could not walk from my bedroom to the kitchen. And this house is not that big. I'd have to take a rest in the living room for fear of passing out. I lost so much muscle mass. My body was just having to eat itself to live. And I'm back to my full weight. I guess I'm doing a lot of air quotes, and that's bugging me. And it's weird. I don't like the way I look, and I'm having to reconcile it against the way that I feel. Because I feel really good. I feel strong. I have, even though I got all my like aches and pains and like this like residual exhaustion that I can't seem to shake, I realize this is kind of how I've always felt. But I can do things and, like water my plants and trim them up and do a grocery shop, a half an hour grocery shop. I can bring them home and I can help my daughter put things away. Whereas I couldn't do anything when I had like the bowel obstruction and I was really thin, I would look at myself and I'd be like, okay, I have no ass whatsoever, but I have a thigh gap. And I had like this whole, I guess I have this body dysmorphia thing, and I didn't realize I had it. So I'm kind of reconciling that. And I'm 54, and I feel like I'm too old to have these issues. That's like a teenage. I don't know. What the fuck? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Yeah. And I consider that kind of like vanity, like beneath me. Yeah, so that's weird. I'm having a hard time with that. And because I'm so caught up in the material, it's made me not want to do tarot pulls because I feel like I'm not in the right mind space for that. I'm too focused on like shallow things. And my relationship with my tarot is very deep and meaningful and spiritual. So I also can't reconcile that. It's like part of my spiritual practice. And I'm completely disconnected from it. So there's that. It's weird. And I'm totally not connecting with live people, really. I mean, except for my daughter and my brother that I'm sheltering in place with. And I kind of don't want to connect with people. And there are people that I thought I really wanted to be friends with, that I tried to be friends with. And I have this pattern where, I like reach out and reach out and reach out. And then it kind of, the person's always too busy for me. And it's like, do they really want to make time for me? I don't know. I can't tell. Are they just blowing me off? So then I just stop and I go, okay, well, I guess I don't really want to be friends with this person. Or they'll do something or they'll say something and I'll realize that they're in a completely different headspace than I'm at, or I'm not articulating any of that very well. I just have a really hard time connecting with people. So then I get my social interactions from nothing. From commenting on people's videos on TikTok or on YouTube, or the other places I cruise around online. Yeah. Is making a lot of noise, so I don't even know how well you can hear me. So I think I'm going to end this off. We'll just call this a confused vloggy vlog. Woohoo! With really bad lighting. I hope you guys are doing well. Let me know in the comments what's been going on. Now I'm hitting my computer and I'm probably making a lot of noise when I do that. I don't want to be stuck in my own head and in my own problems. That doesn't feel good. Let me help you. Let's talk about you. What's going on with you? How are you? Who are you? Reach out to me. Let's get a conversation going. Tell me what's been going on with your family. Tell me how you've been during the COVID bullshit. How's work? Are you working? Did you lose your health care? What do you think about all this? Talk to me. I mean that sincerely.